This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, hello all. Welcome to the next session on SAP ABAP. And in the last few classes, we have exactly discussed what exactly the ABAP and what is SAP, and also we have seen some of the fundamentals in the ABAP. So, what is data dictionary and what is reporting, and also we have seen what kind of selection screen we can design in the by using ABAP, and also how to design the selection screen by using ABAP by using parameters and select options. So the parameters will give the single input value, and the keyword to define the single input value is the parameters. And to given a range or multiple input values, we have to design with the select options. And select options, the keyword is select options. And the operator, the reference operator, we use in a for. For is in a reference operator. But whenever you design a select options, it is going to create an internal table by default, a internal table with inbuilt work area with the same name and with the fields of sign option low and high fields case. That's a special behavior of select options. And also guys, we can design the checkboxes, radio buttons on the selection screen. Checkbox means you can choose the multiple options. The radio button means you can choose only one options. The same with the parameters only we can design the checkboxes. We can design the radio buttons case. So that's about the selection screen. And the next, the processing level. So based on your selection, we are going to fetch the data from the database by using different kind of select statement. We have seen almost 6 to 7 different kind of select statements. The first kind of select statement is select data from um, uh, uh, the data from uh, the database table and save that data in work area and transfer the data from work area to the internal table. And you need to use an end select statement, end select, but it will give low performance. And so instead of that, directly we are going to send it to the internal table by using table keyword. We send the one shot, we are going to send the data. We are going to fetch the data and we are going to store the data in the internal table. It gives more performance compared to the previous statement. But here we are selecting all the fields from the database table, which is not good. And we need to select the required fields from the database table. For that, we need to use only select specific fields and send to the internal table the by using table keyword and store the data in the internal table. This is the best. This statement will give the best performance compared to the previous two statements. Suppose if you are selecting some fields from the database, but you have more fields or less fields in the internal table, and you need to use an into corresponding fields of guys. So this is the one more select statement which we have seen guys. And this is the fourth kind of select statement. And also we have used select count star to calculate a number of records in the database table, and we have used select single to fetch the single record from the database table guys. Whenever you read the single record from the database table, and we are going to use a primary key in the where condition guys. So you need to use the primary key in where condition. In where condition you have to use a primary key guys. So that's almost 6 kind of select statement we have seen guys. And so then the next concept we talked about is the radio reports guys. So what exactly the report? Display the data in a user required format is in a report. And we have two kinds of reporting. One is the classical reporting, another one is the interactive reporting. In the classical reporting, we have different kind of events. So ABAP is an event driven programming language, and so we have different kind of events in the ABAP. One is the initialization, the second one is the add selection screen, the third one is the add selection screen on field, and add selection screen on block, add selection screen on value request, add selection screen on help request, and start of selection, end of selection, top of page, and head of page. And also we have an interactive events. And what exactly the interactive? So display the detailed information and a secondary report. We call it an interactive report. And we have at line selection and a top of page during line selection and at user command, guys. So these are all the different kind of events we have in the ABAP in reports. And we have seen what exactly the purpose of the events and initialization. So initialization will be triggered. So by seeing this picture, you will come to know this is my input screen, and before displaying the selection screen or input screen, the initialization event will be triggered, and which is used to default the selection screen values. Suppose if you want to default input the default values, we can write the code inside the initialization. And suppose guys, whenever you enter the data into the selection screen, then if you want to validate the data from the database, whether the data is exist in the database or not, we are going to use at selection screen event. But at selection screen is a generic event which is applicable for all the fields. Suppose if you want to validate the particular field, we are going to use an at selection screen on field. And so the cursor, whenever there is an error, the cursor goes to the particular field. But in case of at selection screen, the cursor goes to the first field, guys. That's the difference between at selection screen and at selection screen on field. And start of selection. So whenever you process the input value successfully, the start of selection event will be triggered. And so in the start of selection event, we are going to write in a processing logic, guys. That's a start of selection event. So this are some of the events we have seen, guys. So uh, that's and also sequence. You can see here the sequence. What is the sequence which you have? So wherever you write the event, so first the code goes to the initialization at selection screen on field at selection screen, then it goes to the start of selection. It's not a line by line. So it's an event based. ABAP is an event based programming language. Based on the event, the execution will flow, guys. So that's what we have seen in the last few classes, guys. And today, maybe I'm going to talk about the some other events called. So, guys. So if you take this, and when you go to the restaurant, guys, first you will see some header like this. Maybe in restaurant bill also you are going to get. This is my current bill, guys. In the current bill, this is a first heading is the TSS uh, PDCL. It's in a Telangana state, some southern power, next distribution and corporation limited, and that's in a company address. And also there is some date on which date the bill is generated, and also in the below you can see the this thing, the footer also you can see, right? So this is some kind of reports. Even if you go to the restaurant, you see the restaurant name on the top, and in the below you can see thank you and visit again. So that kind of things you will see, right? In the same way, if you want to design, okay, so maybe I have an output. See, in this output I need to display the header. So this is my report header, guys. I can say this is my output, same, and this is my header details where we are going to print company details, and also I have a footer. I have a footer. We'll print like this, right? Thank you. Visit again. So thank you. Visit again. This is a footer, and maybe here I am going to display a company address, right? So if you want to display header and footer, guys, if you want to display header and footer for your output, then we are going to use two events, guys. So one is the next fifth event is the top. Top is the header, guys. Top of page. Okay, see. So control B. Simple, guys. By seeing this, see, this is my output. In the output, I have a top and also bottom. So the top, the header, we are going to use the event. The event is in a top of page event. It's a top of page event, and also we have the same thing. So now you tell me what is the footer and of page, simple and of page event. So now, so what exactly the top of page? So top of page, it will be triggered whenever system finds the first output statement. So it will trigger, this event will be triggered whenever system finds a first output statement, and it is used to print the mm, page header to the output. We are going to use this to print the page headers to the output, and end of page, this will be triggered. It will be triggered whenever the page line counts and the page ends. See, we are printing some lines in this. Whenever it ends, I need to print the thank you visit again. That time only you need to trigger it, right? So whenever the page line count ends, it will be triggered. It will be triggered when the page line counts end are reached. So we are going to give a how many lines we can print in the output, guys, whenever the line count is reached, and this event will be triggered. So in report header, we define the line count, how many lines we need to print it, guys. So purpose is, it is used to print the page footer. It is used to print the page footer, guys. That's an end of page event. So maybe I go to the SAP. Now we'll see practically. SAP user 123 or 1234. Welcome 34. Yes. So now you can see the SE38. So last program is the classical reporting events and change top of page, guys. Top of page, maybe I will apply the for colors, format color. Which color do you want? 5 means huh? Green. Okay. And format color off. All right. And this maybe I can put like this. It is the technologies. Okay. this is my company address, guys. I am printing that in the header level. Header level, I am printing my company address. And also, first we'll see this case. First we'll see this. Do the syntax check and no errors and activate. So maybe I go with the sales, guys, because the customer I see only one record, and maybe I go to the sales, enter 00. I'm giving a corrected details, guys. If I give wrong details, what it will do? I given some junk. See and execute. Oh, what happened? So why it's not triggering? Why my validation is not triggering? Why my validation is not triggering? Okay, so what I need to do, guys? Yeah, /h. Perfect. I'm going to debug. All right. So debug. Oh, now it's triggering, guys. Why? Come back. Before it doesn't. See, yeah. Now it doesn't trigger, right? So what? Maybe I can put breakpoints instead of like this. So always try to use breakpoints. So put on a breakpoint. Put on a breakpoint. Put a every event. Put a breakpoint. So always better to use breakpoint, breakpoint, and execute. So first event which will be triggered is the initialization. So with the initialization, we are defaulting the selection screen values. And again, guys, I'm see debugging p underscore vkorg. The initially the value is space, and now the value is assigned. Next, s underscore date. Whenever you define a select options, it creates in a one work area, one internal table by default. Okay, how do you differentiate? If you see cap symbol, it's a work area. If you see brackets, it's an internal table with the fields, the sign, option, low, and high fields. That's an select options. And now first I pass the values, include option sign option between, and maybe last 6 months I'm doing the date range and append it, guys. Now you can see the things and F8, and the values are defaulted. See, we defaulted two selection screen field, it is defaulted the two selection screen values. And maybe I enter the values and I'm giving it a wrong, and also put an a p underscore sales, execute, and it goes to the here and p underscore sales. So p under, why the value is not stored, guys? Checkbox, I checked the checkbox, the value should be X. Huh? Oh, no, we are not assigning the value, we are checking the value. Did I check the checkbox p underscore sales? Did I check it? So actually the value should be X. When I check it, the value should be X. F5, that's why it's not uh, okay. Now we got it, guys. Okay, guys. So guys, why the value is not set, guys? Can anybody tell? Think, see, guys, very important here. The point you see, first I execute, not now, sorry, and maybe I start from the fresh. Execute, select, execute. See, initially the value is not set. I execute again. So when it comes to here, it is setting the value. The selected value is set to the p underscore sales field. So why it's not setting before? Did you anybody tell why it's not setting? Why it's not setting? I have applied a at selection screen on field. On field event level, it's not coming. But at selection screen, oh, field level, it's coming. Sorry, yes. Om Namah Shivaya. So, so you have to uh, next 3 weeks. It will happen like this. Sorry for that. Yeah, tell me. So why this is happening? So why the value is not set? Why the value is not set? So my thought is maybe this field is declared before this field, the checkbox field. Whenever I apply an event at selection screen on field, the event is triggering before this field, guys. So that is the reason what it is doing. The value becomes the space. But whenever it comes to the at selection screen, so all the screen fields are processed. That time it is giving the value as an X. Maybe what I will do is I will move this block to the top. I will move this block, uh, sorry, block to the top. Okay, then definitely every time it will set. That's why always the checkbox and radio buttons, always you have to design in the top, guys. Always you need to design on the top. So why? Because so whenever I did a validation, but I'm looking for the value p underscore sales, but p underscore sales is defined in the bottom. Okay, so that's why the value is not set. Always the checkbox and radio buttons you have to define in the top in the selection screen, guys. So just I will change now. See, so instead of here, control X and control V. Not only that, guys. So you need to change the block name as well because it should be in a first. Okay. So just if you change the sequence, it doesn't work, and change the sequence of the block. Save, pretty printer, do the syntax. Now see radio button, the checkbox comes to the top, guys. So now I will check the checkbox and do the see wrong value. The division I have given a junk, and see wrong division. See, it's validating, guys. Maybe in my breakpoint, see, I moved my code to the top, right? So the breakpoints are changed. Again, I put on a breakpoints. Put the breakpoint again and put the breakpoint again. So now execute and initialization, that's okay. Select the p underscore sales and do this and execute now. See, p underscore sales value set. So that's the problem. Always you have to put checkbox and radio button on the top section. And now, yes, by value, whenever you select, I told right checkbox and radio button. When you select it, the X value will be assigned to the field. So the value of P underscore sales is X. And when you check it, and it will go inside true, condition is true. And here we are fetching the data from check table, right? So if the value exists, no problem, we'll proceed further. But the value does not exist, we raise an error message, guys. So that's why we are raising an error message. And so maybe now I give the correct value. My correct value is 0, 0. This is my correct value, guys. And F8, no errors, no errors, guys. Now you can see the output. But see, guys, EDZ technologies behind Vaitrivanam, SAP Street, Hyderabad, and I got only in single line, guys. Why? I received only single line. Why? Huh? Slash. I missed out the slash. Is it correct? Oh, it is there. Why it's not coming? Format color header. Right? Slash correct only, right? Hmm? it should print mhm, okay, slash slash every line it should print it, guys. That's the thing. So yes, correct only. So we need to have the every line we need to print it, guys. P underscore sales, give the value and give the value. Maybe I save and a variant save it. So top top of page. This is a top of page variant and execute now. F8, 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 and you see it is a technology spray. Guys, everything color in same color, guys. See, this is also green, this is also green. So I don't want green. So put some other color and come back. So there is no difference. Maybe 6 3 is the yellow. Put the yellow or 7 orange will give little orange color, I think. F8 and select, or else you can put the top, execute, and F8 and F8, 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 and you see the top of page, guys. So we printed a header, right? Exactly, the top is the header, and also the actual data we are printing on the main area. And so exactly, guys. So what I said, guys, what exactly the top of page? So maybe I have seen the output on the top, but I didn't satisfy, guys. So I told top of page will be triggered whenever it finds a first output statement. So put in a breakpoint. See, put on a breakpoint and first, guys, first delete all breakpoints, guys. So you can delete the all breakpoints as well. Display, and it will display all the breakpoints and select all and okay. So delete. It is deleting all the breakpoint. Put only on the top of page. And also, guys, what is my definition? It will be triggered whenever system finds the first output statement. So in this, tell me where is the first output statement? Can anybody tell me where is the first output statement? Where is the first output statement? What is the first output statement? Where is the first output statement? So tell me first output statement. What are the output statements we have? Output statements, right? V line, U line, and skip, right? So in this, where is the first output statement then? First, no here. Top of page is here. So tell me where is the first output statement. In the processing logic, you need to check it. So processing logic means start of selection. So where is the first output statement then? Yes. So maybe I put on a breakpoint on the first output statement. Okay, it should be in active mode and put on a breakpoint now. Now execute and take my variant. No need to enter the input again and again, guys. Variant, that is the use. Okay, execute. See, guys, first it comes to the first output statement, the cursor. See, whenever system finds the first output statement, it triggers on a top of page event. It triggers on a top of page event. See, so just I will press F5. That means first output statement. I will execute the first output statement. F5, guys, it goes to the top of page event. The cursor you see, the first output statement I try to execute, it goes to the top of page event. That's the meaning, right? So here my first output statement, my output is here, guys. This is my first output. So before printing this first output, I need to print the header. So it should go to where is my header? So top page is my header. I need to print first header, then I need to print the output. So that's the SAP thought. So before printing the first output statement, print the, if you have the header, print the header, guys. So that's exactly the the top of page event, guys. Are you clear? Not only write statement, when you read in the Google, they will say whenever the first write statement, not the first statement, right statement, guys. Suppose if you have U line here, whenever it finds U line, it triggers then a top of page event, guys. So whenever it sees the first output statement, the top of page event will be triggered. And now it is triggered, it is displayed, guys. See now, so I will design a one U line before this case. So U line also an output statement, right? Before write statement it is triggered, right? So maybe activate pretty printer, activate the program and delete the here and put the breakpoint on the U line. See U line also output statement and execute and select the variant. See this is the use of the variant. So no need to enter again and again and execute and see, guys. Uline is my first output statement. Whenever system finds the first output statement, it goes to the top of page event, guys. It goes to the top of page event. Whenever it executes the first output statement, immediately it goes to the top of page event, guys. That's a top of page event. Are you clear? Yes. Then we go to the end of page event. So end of page normally, yeah. Thank you. Visit again, guys. That's my statement for the end of page. And maybe what I am going to do is, see, guys, so if you want to design a end of page and we need to define the line count, how many lines you need to print. See, my guys, for every page you will be having a maximum. So some pages here, this is my size, page size. Some people will give the bill until here only, half of the here, right? Every page will have their own design because I don't want to wastage my papers, right? I can, because I have the only information till here. Why I need to print till here? Because it's a cost effective. So the bundle, every bundle is in a cost, right? Every bundle is in a cost. So we need to expense, right? If you want to reduce the cost cutting based on your data, you are going to print the data in the particular size, case. So what we can do is, so maybe, so I will design the line count for my page, case. If you want to design your line count for the page, then you need to go to here. I put in a line size. Line size is horizontal is the line size, but line count is how many lines. One line, two line, three line, four line, fifth line, like that. So maybe I give line count this and line size is this and line count is maybe 30 lines, guys. I print only 30 lines, or else I want only 10 lines, not 10 lines, maybe give minimum 20 lines. Okay, give 20 lines. And also I can give the footer. In the footer, how many lines I can print it, guys. This is my footer. I can say here you can see something is there in footer. Maybe somewhere you can see thank you, visit again. So I need to give some place to the footer also. How many lines you can print in the footer? Maybe I need only 3 lines for the footer, guys. So this is the way we are going to design the footer and the how many lines we can print on a output. So execute, and now I go to the what is the next event? End of page. Okay, format, color, and 3 is yellow, right? And format, color of white. Thank you for choosing EDC technologies. So this is my footer, guys. So I'm printing something on the footer and save, and pretty printer do the syntax check and activate and execute and select the input and top and execute and execute and execute and execute. So take out this, execute. And you can see guys, this is my header. Maybe I'm little confused. I would like to print small bills, and I printed only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 some lines I printed, and in the bottom I print thank you for choosing EDG Technologies, have a bright and wonderful future guys. This is my footer, this is my header, and when I print this, and maybe I have a printer. If I have a printer which is configured to my system, and system means not the system, the SAP server we have to connect guys. Whenever I connect, and I can configure the printers to my server, and when I click OK, this will be printed guys. So this is does not exist normally. So in the real time we are going to connect the things to the printer. When you print it, you are going to get the print output guys. So you can print the reports in a print guys. So this is my page. You will see the header, and you will see the item, and you can see the actual data which will be printed over here guys. So this is exactly the reporting guys. Exactly, see. So a beautiful report, and you can see the colors, and so it's all technical only guys. So alternative colors, see, alternative colors we have applied. And so exactly, so maybe you want only some records, seven records, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 means I need to reduce 2 lines. 2 lines means 18. See, always orange. Okay, what happened? So it's okay. So what you can do is uh, it is applied, right? Color 7. I think server connection is down. SE38 and reporting events change, and now hello, hello, am I audible? Hello,
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
yeah. So now I have log into the system again, and leave about that case. That's not a problem. I don't want to put much on the cosmetics things. And this is my output, guys. This is my output, and yeah. So it is printing, but here it is printing more, guys. I don't know why. The second line it is printing more records actually, and but it's okay. Then So we have seen the different events, top of page, end of page, and also we have seen uh, the other events, initialization, at selection screen, field, and start of selection. And next, guys, after the start of selection, what is the next event? It's in a top of page, and maybe we have end of page. This is the sequence of the events. And also, guys, here, so what I am going to do is maybe, so one more report, guys. I would like to see one more, the special event, the at selection screen on, guys, these two events, guys, these two events I don't explain now, so we'll explain based on the, see guys, on value request, on help request, on value request, on help request, can anybody tell? So exactly when it will be triggered, exactly when it will be triggered at selection screen on value request and on help request, think when it will be triggered. Perfect. Super. So the value request, whenever, simple guys, when we press F4 on selection screen field, when we press F4, guys, this event will be triggered. See, F4 means list of possible values. That means you are requesting for some value, right? So you are requesting some for some value, and that time the at selection screen on value request will be triggered, guys. Okay, so this is used to provide F4 values for that, for that field, right? If you want to provide F4 value, we are going to use an at selection screen on value request. We'll use, guys, whenever the requirement comes, I will use this event, don't worry. And next one is the at selection screen on help request. Help. Now tell me, simple, based on this, can anybody tell? Hmm? F1, that's it. Help me, the documentation, guys. When we press F1 on selection screen field, it will be triggered. This is used to provide the documentation for the field. F1 provides the documentation for that field. Normally, guys, the documentation comes from where? Field documentation comes from where? Data element, guys. Normally we maintain a data element. We never use, guys. This is a rare. I never used this event. Normally, if you want documentation, we maintain the documentation in the data element level, guys. That's an event, guys. Next, the most interesting event is the at selection screen output, guys. This is the important, very important event. Now I'm going to take you to the at selection screen output with the radio buttons, guys. Now we have seen the check boxes. Now I will go with the radio buttons with that selection screen output. So, so this is, it will be triggered. It's a special event, guys. It will be triggered before selection screen display and also after processing input values from selection screen. So this is a special event, guys. Till now you have seen the events. So some events will be triggered before selection screen display, that is an initialization. The other event is that selection screen, which will be triggered after selection screen, after passing the values in the selection screen, guys. Now tell me exactly what it is. It is the combination of initialization and at selection screen event, guys. So this event now, based on this definition, it will be triggered before selection screen display. That is an initialization event which will be triggered, and also after processing input values from the selection screen, the event which will be triggered is the at selection screen. So now I can give the definition for this event is it is a combination of initialization and at selection screen event, guys. That's an at selection screen output. So why we need to have this event, guys? So purpose is it is used to provide dynamic selection screen. Dynamic selection screen, guys, not a static. Now we are going to the dynamic selection screen based on the input selection. Suppose if I select this input, I want only this input. If I choose another input, I want that input. Okay. So if you want to have a dynamic values based on the selections, we are going to use an at selection screen output, guys. At selection screen, it is used to provide a dynamic selection screen based on the input selection, and also we enable and disable the fields, huh? And we can make like password like fields. Okay, a lot of things we can do with this event, guys. With this event I can do a lot of things on a selection screen, on a selection screen, guys. So special event, so it's a combination of initialization and at selection screen event, guys. Special event means always will have some importance, right? This is my special event. And so now, guys, in new slide, and guys, if you want to handle this event, if you want to do in a dynamic selections, if you want to do in a dynamic selections, and guys, so always, guys, what SAP will do is whenever I execute this, so system will process, we have an input, right? So the system will process the input values in a sequence. In a sequence, first it will process P underscore sales. Next it will process P underscore cost. Next it will process the block. Next it will process the date. In the date we have low field, we have high field. Okay. And next it goes to the next block and it will process here. And record by record it will process, guys. So if in SAP, if you want to process record by record, so which is the main statement which will be used? Record by record. I have any multiple values in the selection, and if I want to process record by record multiple selection, yeah, so we are going to use an a loop, case. Even SAP also does an a loop, case. So SAP will process the selection screen fields by using loop and end loop, using screen, guys, using screen like this. A loop at screen and the loop. So both work area and internal table will have in the same. Okay, work area also screen, internal table also screen. It's in a deep structure actually. So loop, first it will loop the block, then it will loop the P underscore sales. So sequence, it will loop the P underscore sales, it will loop the P underscore cost, every screen field, it will loop the block, it will loop the select option, again it will loop the block, it will loop the sales organization, distribution channel, division, like this. But every field will have, every selection screen, every selection screen field will have different kind of properties. Properties are fields. So what are they? There are some fields we have, guys. So the fields are, so I can say the fields, one is the active. So one is the active, guys. Maybe I have in a screen. So screen active. Suppose if I make the active which is equal to 1, that means so the screen field is active on the selection screen. 1 means the field is active on the selection screen. Now you tell me if I put 0, this 0, it will be inactive on the selection screen. That means it doesn't display, guys. It doesn't display on SS. SS means it's a selection screen. If you put 0, it doesn't display that field on the selection screen. If you put 1, it will display on the selection screen. So this is the one of the important parameter which we use for the to disable and enable the selection screen field. Next one is screen hyphen input, guys. One more field is screen hyphen input. And if it is 1, now tell me it is enabled for the input. 0 means you cannot enter the value in the input, guys. Only display mode. Okay, you cannot enter the value. Okay, it is disabled for the input. Input is not possible. Only display. Only display, guys. That's a screen input field, which is also very, very important. Okay. Next one is screen invisible, guys. Invisible. Invisible. What exactly the invisible? What exactly the invisible? What exactly the invisible? Yeah. See, guys, I'm entering something. Are you able to see this? No. This is exactly the invisible option. If you want to like password kind of, if it is a sensitive or security thing, so if it is 1, if it is 1, it will be invisible. It will be invisible like password like field. Like password like field, guys. Normally password like means you don't display the uh, whatever you enter, that you don't display to the others, right? Next one is 0 means it will visible. It will visible, guys. It will visible. The value will be visible. So this is also one of the field, guys. Okay. So we handle these fields and we are going to do a dynamic selections on a selection screen, guys. Go maybe I go back and copy this program, same program, and maybe what I'm going to do is, so it's in a classical reporting events with the dynamic selections, or else at selection screen output with the dynamic and the radio buttons. I'm going to design radio buttons as well, guys, and copy and copy and okay, it is in 9 cells. Okay, change. And guys, so same selection, I delete the check boxes. Instead of check boxes, I'm going to design in a radio buttons. Even radio buttons also, the parameters is the keyword, and p underscore radio button 1 and the radio button group, guys. That's what we have discussed. So the syntax for the radio buttons, and yeah, so you can see the radio buttons. You can see the radio buttons and parameters p underscore radio button group and group 1. Okay, next one is p underscore radio button 2 and radio button group, and the same group you need to declare guys grp1. And also I can choose both the things guys. Here my case is I can choose. Okay, so date is common maybe. So guys, if I select first one is sales input, I should display only the sales block in the selection screen. Next, so the second one is if I choose the customer block, then only I choose the customer input in the selection screen. So this kind of validation I need to do. So what I need to do, if I select the radio button 1, it should display only the sales related input. If I choose the customer, it should display the customer related input guys. But previously, when I use the checkbox guys, it is displaying both the things. Both the things in the input. Actually, I don't want to display the both the things. Okay, I don't want that. You see, SE 38. Execute. See, when I select this or this, it is displaying the total things. But I am designing a radio button. When I choose sales, it should display only the sales input. When I choose customer, it should display only the customer related input. But I have one more radio button both. If I select that, it should display both the things, sales as well as the customer. So this is my logic guys. Maybe so the radio buttons I declared 3 and third radio button is the both and radio button group, and it should be part of group 1 guys. So one single group you need to maintain. Why? Because these 3 radio button comes into the single group. In the 3 radio buttons, I can choose only one option. That's the grouping importance, right? So in this group, I can choose only one radio button. Suppose if you have one more group, the other radio button will have other importance case. Maybe first let me show this. The edit p underscore sales is unknown. Okay, so no problem. We can comment this logic and comment this logic, comment this logic, and if and if. Okay, and maybe if and next one is and if and I'm deleting that logic case, huh? And if that's it, and okay. Now I go to the top. So okay, maybe you're confusing with this. From start of selection, I comment every code, guys. All the code I comment. Now it is commented. Execute. See, guys, we have radio button 1, radio button 2, and radio button both, and we have other things. Maybe this we do not have any text. You need to maintain the text. And if you want to maintain the text, go to text element and selection text. And these are newly added fields. So select both options. And the second one is I want only sales area input, and next I want only customer input. Choose customer and choose sales area, whatever it may be. Okay, and come back and do this and execute. See guys, that's a radio button. See, you can choose only one option guys. Can you choose multiple? No, it's not possible. This is a radio button. And guys, whenever you select a radio button, the value X will be assigned to that field. So first one is P underscore radio button 1. If I select this radio button, X P underscore radio button equal to X. If I select this, P underscore radio button equal to X. If I select this, P underscore both equal to yes guys. So that's a radio button assignment. And guys, whenever I select, see guys, I here now the impact is when I select, nothing is changed. nothing is changed, guys. And if I want to select, so these things, I need to enable the disable the fields from the selection screen. So what I need to do is, so you have to use, so whenever you want to design, if you want to disable and enable the fields on the selection screen, so you have to use the output. You have to use the event. The event is, the event is at selection screen output, guys. So this is my event. And what I need to do, guys, I need to loop at screen and end loop. You have to loop the screen and end loop. And guys, so whenever you loop and loop, and I will show you the debugging, guys. So, and also guys, whenever you use the radio buttons, one more thing is, so whenever if you use radio button, in the addition you need to use user command. User command, some you see something you can declare like this also, guys. So you need to apply a user command, and so I'm going to apply a user command. User command, maybe you can put UC or whatever you want, you can put it. This name is yours, your own name. You can put anything, but this is the statement which you need to use whenever you use in a radio buttons, and execute. And guys, maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a breakpoint on the at selection screen output is the event. I put in a breakpoint under the at selection screen event and execute, guys. Guys, the at selection screen output, which will be triggered before the selection screen display. Did you display the selection screen? No. So before the selection screen display, the at selection screen output is triggered. And guys, so in the loop, you can see there are a lot of fields, guys. You can see the fields, name, and also you can see group 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4, and required, see input field and output field, invisible field. I given some, I have taken some fields, guys, examples. Okay, active field. Okay, so now F8, and maybe what I will do is, here name is the screen field name, guys. Name is the screen field name. Screen is the, here you can say work area, and name is the, which field is the name, guys. Okay, maybe I go to here. What happened? Again execute. You must enter. You have a validation. See. So again, after you processing the values, even the at selection screen event is triggered, guys. So now what you need to do is, so screen, again take a name, and first block is this, and why it's going to the selection screen output, it should be triggered. Okay, it should loop, guys, sorry. So meanwhile what I will do, guys, so maybe I do the validation. So normally I do the validation, this validation whenever the, if p underscore rad1 equal to x, then only I do the validation, guys. Otherwise I don't do the validation. Now I have enabled this, otherwise I will be getting the errors. And the second one is also same, the if p underscore rad1 which is equal to x. Why? Because when you select sales input, then only you need to do a validation, otherwise I get an error. And also, guys, so one more thing, guys, you can defaultly you can select the radio buttons. Suppose if I want to select default and both the options, I can use the default and I can put on a default equal to x. So that means I can select the radio button both as in a default option. So do this and execute. Now see, by default the both is selected. Suppose if I take out this default and control X and control V. So I put radio button 2 as in a default selection. See now, execute, and it is selected by default the second radio button, guys. So this is a defaulting option. You can do default the values and do the validation only on the whenever you select in a sales area wrong division. Why it's selecting? Okay, I selected this, that's why it is validating, guys. So enter 0 0. So now see customer, so it's not validating, select, it's not validating, but when I select this it will validate. Okay, see, it's validating the sales organization, guys. So that's the conditions also you can put on the selection screen field, guys. Maybe I select the some other one, customer input. See, customer input, maybe execute. Why it's not going? Order creation date, execute. It's not a mandatory, right? Why it's asking the mandatory? Order creation date. Okay, I think my breakpoint is gone, guys. See, my breakpoint is gone. Actually, it should trigger this event. After you process the input values, this event should be triggered actually. So now you can see it is triggering. Before selection screen display, it is triggering, and screen hyphen name, and this is the one F5 and F5. Next field is, see guys, this is the first block, and next field is, see, radio button one. First is the radio button one. So it is looping field by field, guys. Radio button two. Next one is uh, radio button text, radio button both. So every field it is looping, guys. Now, so second block. This is my second block. Next date, order creation date, low field, and the next one is high field. Next one is um, the next block. Next is sales organization, and see guys, sequentially it is processing. This loop is processing sequentially, guys. This loop is processing field by field. It is processing, guys. Maybe what I need to do, guys. So tell me logic. When I select this, actually I need to disable this section. I need to disable this section, guys. So if you want to do this, the simple thing what we can do is, so whenever you would like to do fields disabling and enabling and maintain the modif ID, guys. So we have a concept called modif ID. So this is my modif ID, mod one, modif ID. You can put on a some ID, guys. So in the inverted commas you can put the ID. It should be in the two letters actually. So it's an a M1. It's my modified M1. And next we have modified. This is my M2. M2. And so what happened? Red modified M1. Quotation marks. It's quotation marks only. M2, right? Huh? M1 modif ID. Okay. Control V, M2. Do the syntax check. Okay, without a quotation mark. That's the problem, guys. That's the problem. You should not put the quotation marks. Without a quotation mark, not with quotation marks. So guys, every section I maintain with a single modified, guys. So the total section I declare with a single modified. And maybe next section I define with the modified three. Three sections I am going to define the modified is. So now what I am going to do is in this code, If P underscore radio button 1, which is selected, what that means, only need the sales area input details, right? I want only the sales area input details. I don't want the, and if I don't want the, which area details I don't want, customer details, guys. What is the customer details modified? You need to take the modified, guys. So what is the modified for the customer details? So the customer details, the modified is the M3. So whenever the customer details comes in the loop, because it will loop every screen element. Whenever you get in a loop, whenever you get in a loop, actually the modified will comes to that field group 4 field. You are going to get that modified, guys. There is a group field in the screen. Here you are going to receive the M3 value. Here you are going to receive an M3 value, and if, and whenever it is an M3, and disable that field, guys. So I don't want that field. Screen active equal to. So if I don't want those fields, screen active equal to 0. That's it, guys. And modify screen. You need to modify. You are just changing the value in work area, and you need to use the modify statement in the internal table as well. So you have to modify the selection screen, guys. Do this and do the change, and now you can see, guys, execute F8 and select sales area input. See, guys, so uh, what is the value? 0, and F8 wrong sales organization. eh? F8 F8 wrong. Guys, disable all the selection screen fields. I don't want to do, whenever I have this kind of things, I don't do any validation, guys. Okay, this also we'll see later, and maybe I don't do the validation now, and execute F8. Now I select the first radio button, and F8 not working. Why? Whenever I choose the first radio button, whenever I choose the first radio button, when the screen group, I am actually I suspect here, guys. I suspect here maybe. So do the debugging again. Screen hyphen group. Okay, group 1. One is the group 2, 2 is the group 3, group 4. We have different fields, guys, in the screen. See, in the screen you can see group 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4. And I assigned a modified. I'm not sure which group it is going to populate actually. Debug and see block group 3. I am getting in a block, and group 4 parameters. And next one is maybe I can take the group name as well. So it's field name, not group name. Name. See, and F5. This is a radio button. So actually group is not coming, guys. We designed a group, and which is not coming. Now for this there is no group. I think radio buttons there is no group. We didn't design any group for the radio buttons. And see, guys, so M1 is coming. M1 is coming. It is there in the, see. So this is the field for the date. The group 1 value is the modified value comes into the M1. Date, the modified value comes into the M1. Next, After date, we have a sales organization and all. We'll see the next one, next block this is, and F5 and see guys, next M2 is coming up for the sales organization. See, sales organization, the group is the M2. So maybe the values are coming, the group value is coming in the group 1, not in the group 4 guys. This is the debugging. Okay. So when it is not working, what you need to do? You have to do a debugging where exactly that value is coming. Now activate the program and execute now. Now you can execute, and even it's not working guys. Okay, so you select the customer input. When you select first radio button guys, so select the first radio button and see guys, that is disabled. See, that is disabled. The second the customer input is disabled. Now I write in a code, when the customer input is selected, see, I write in a logic. If this is selected this, and so do I need to write one more if guys? No. What you can write? Else if and p underscore radio button 2, which is equal to the x, and only need customer input. I don't want the sales input guys. So if you don't want the sales input, what I need to do? If screen hyphen group 1, which is equal to the, so what is the uh, what you need to disable guys? Sales area input you need to disable. So the sales area input, what is the modified for the sales area input? What is the modified for the sales area input? It's an M2 guys. So whenever the group M2 comes, whenever the group M2 comes, guys, this kind of things, if you put small letters, it doesn't work guys. In the single quotes, if you put the values as in a small letters, your logic doesn't work. So that's the one precaution you have to think guys. And screen active, disable the sales area input. The modified M2 is for the sales area input, and disable the sales area input guys. Now, so I come out of this. Now you can see guys. See, sales area input is gone. Select sales area input. Sales area input. If you select sales area, you are getting sales area input. If you select customer input, you are getting a customer input. If you select sales area inputs, you are getting sales area, customer, sales area, customer, sales area, customer, sales area, customer, sales area. So based on the selection screen is changing dynamically. Dynamic selection screen, I can say this is. So the event is at selection screen output guys. Very important. And you have to loop the screen, loop at screen and loop. And you need to use the fields, the group, even group also very important. Even the group also very important guys. So what is the group? Group comes screen hyphen group 1, which contains modif id value, modif id value, modif id, which we maintain the modif id, right? That value will be stored over here guys. That's an screen group 1 guys. Simplification this is a, so don't much complicate. Okay, when you select radio button 1, when the screen group is M3, radio button 1 means I don't want the customer details, I want only sales area input details. The customer details are M3, so disable the M3 values, disable the modified M3 values. And if I select second radio button, I want only this, I don't want the sales area input details. Sales area means sales organization, distribution channel, division. So modified is M2 when the group is M2, and disable those fields. So that's it. So just do this and modify the value guys. And also guys, whenever I select a radio button 1, sales area input details, and In this, actually, when the field, when if, even if screen hyphen name. So guys, the field, the selection screen field name comes over here, guys. When the screen name, which is equal to the p underscore vkorg and ndif, and whenever the selection screen field vkorg screen hyphen invisible, I'm going to make it's a name which like a password like field, guys. So display like password field, display like in a password field. So screen invisible equal to 1 when the field equal to vkorg, only for the vkorg field. Okay, other fields display the input values. Now execute the transaction and select the first radio button and sales organization, enter some value 1000. And why it's not triggering? Why it's not triggering? Oh, sorry guys. So this is different, guys. So you are writing group 1 equal to M3, guys. So sorry, I need to write in a separate logic. Control X, sorry. So if, else if, maybe after all this, I'm going to write in a logic here. So if screen name equal to wherever it may be, simply whether it is in a first option or second option, make it as an invisible. Screen invisible equal to the 1, guys. Pretty printer, don't keep it in the inside. Put the uh, put outside of your logic, guys. See, now you can see a password like field. Now I am entering. Tell me what is I am entering. Okay, 1000. Yes. Okay, it's a just you thrown the stone, right? So I now tell me what I have entered. Don't know. Yeah. So 1000 only still. Okay. So this is the value. So which you are entering, you are not able to see, guys. It's like in a password like field. So that's the name. At selection screen field, at selection screen output with a radio buttons, guys. With the radio buttons, and very important. So this field is very important, guys. Okay, it's in a combination of at selection screen initialization and at selection screen output. It is triggering both the times. So when you it is triggering before selection screen display as well as the after selection screen display, guys. And this will be triggered. Now, if we have at selection screen output, first the at selection screen output will be initialization. After initialization, this will be triggered. Even after the this is the event sequence which you need to know, guys. So that's it for the day. Do you have any questions? Okay, I hope no questions. Thank you. See you tomorrow. And we are going to extend the events. Tomorrow we'll see the interactive reporting, guys. Okay. So today the classical reporting is done. Tomorrow, yeah, I know your faces. So you have some blank faces. Practice it, then you will come to know. Tomorrow I will explain again this concept. Okay. I know there is a complicated foreign key, same kind of. There is a little logic. Your places will be blank. I know, and practice today, then tomorrow I will explain again. That time you are going to get proper clarity, guys. Okay, so one time you cannot understand this kind of things, so little logic is there here, so it may take some time to understand, but no problem, you can practice this. Tomorrow I will explain one more time this thing, like foreign key relationship. You put blank face, I know that. So wherever you see some logical things, you are putting blank faces, and one time you may not understand, maybe tomorrow I will explain, but you need to practice today. If you practice today, if I explain tomorrow, then you will understand. You will get a more clarity on this case. But if you don't practice, if I explain 100 times also, you will not understand anything. Okay. So that's it for today. Thank you all. Bye bye. See you tomorrow.